The impact of religion and Sufism on arts in Sudan. It is my great pleasure, the audience, welcoming you to this new episode. Our episode today is a continuation for the series of documentaries that have been dedicated to introduce, to trace the impact of religion and Sufism on modern Sudanese poetry. Our focus today goes to handle one of the greatest modern Sudanese poets that ever the country has given. In our presence today, the celebrated, the influential, and the prominent modern Sudanese poet, Salah Ahmed Ibrahim. So Salah Ahmed Ibrahim, 1933-1993, is the focus of our meeting today. A Sudanese literary writer, a poet, and diplomat. Salah Ahmed Ibrahim is considered one of the most important Sudanese poets of the first generation after the country's independence, marking the transition from literary romanticism to social realism. So as I told in our presence today, Salah Ahmed Ibrahim, and in more than one episode we try together to trace the impact, the influence of religion, of Sufism in his poetic production. And before having his examples and samples out of his writing, out of his poetic production, it is essential, first of all, providing his biography. And in this regard, the writer of his biography informs us Salah Ahmed Ibrahim was born in Durman. Salah was born in Durman in 1933, and about his upbringing and nurture, he started to Radio Durman with an interview conducted with the presenter Abdulmun'im Shaybun. It states that he grew up in a household where the Quran was recited morning and evening, and that his father was a deeply religious man who was close to the national leader Ismail al-Azhari. He stated further that he received his early education, his primary education in particular, in Omdurman schools, then attended Hamtoub Secondary School, from which he was expelled for political activism along with his friend, the great poet Muhammad Abdurrahman Shaybun. Afterwards, he continued his studies at Al-Mu'tamar School and later as a Faculty of Arts, University of Khartoum. Speaking about Salah upbringing and family background, Dr. Omar Gadour, the President of the National Union of Sudanese Writers and Authors, and the Assistant Secretary General of the General Union of Arab Writers and Authors, said in the program Sihr al-Kalam, Salah was raised in an environment that resembled a Sufi atmosphere, with a father who was extremely pious, religious, and patriotic. Salah, along with his brother Murtada and his sister Fatima, formed a truly remarkable family in Sudan. Such were the words of Dr. Omar Gadour. His biography further informs that from 1965 to 1966, he taught at the Institute of African Studies at the University of Accra, Ghana. He maintained an involvement in politics and was eventually appointed Sudanese ambassador to Algeria. Afterward, he moved to Paris, where he wrote for several French newspapers and magazines, and worked as an advisor and expert at the embassy of the state of Qatar there. The late novelist and writer Tayyib Saleh said about him, "He is the most Sudanese of all Sudanese poets in his personality and in his poetry. His verse is refined and elegant, marked by the great attention to form. It is an intellectual kind of poetry, one that requires the reader to possess a solid cultural background in order to understand it properly and enjoy it to the fullest." The well-known Arab critic and the poet's close friend Ihsan Abbas said about him, "He is an example of a revolution that feeds on its own blood. He draws his images from the reality of life itself, using them to portray the stirrings of his own soul." And about his poetry, Professor Abdullah Tayyib said, "His poetry is resonant, and his rhythms are beautiful." In an interview on Blue Nile TV, the well-known writer and critic Isa Al-Hilu said about him, "There is no doubt that the poet Salah Ahmed Ibrahim is a great poet, one who requires a great critic and a great historian. Although I am younger than him, a relationship of mentorship developed between us. Salah was characterized by great simplicity. He was very modest, very gentle, and deeply human." Isa Al-Hilu continued and said, "Anyone who met Salah Ahmed Ibrahim would be struck by the simplicity and gentleness of his personality, his calm composure, and his sharp, intelligent curiosity to understand others. Salah the poet was a truthful mirror reflecting the realities of his homeland, Sudan." His natural disposition made him closely connected to people's concerns, aspirations, dreams, and struggles in life. Salah was a man of great ideas. For him, thought and literature were tools to uplift society and advance it for the sake of the people. And although he belonged to the realist school, which focuses on content, he also placed great importance to the beauty of expression. On his major writings, Salah Ahmed Ibrahim has provided the literary circles of the Arabic language with so numerous and masterpieces in literary production. So his contribution in the field of poetic production, Salah has provided the Arabic library with so great and celebrated as well as masterpieces of poems. Such were collected in numerous collections. And for this, the audience, I would like stating part of his poetic diwan. We start with the Ebony Forest, Qabat al-Abanus, that has been published in the year 1959. And then he has his work The Rage of the Hababai, غضبة الحبباي. Moreover, he has his noted masterpiece, Death and Us, نحن والردى. In addition to that, he has his work, The Trial of the Poet Before the Unjust Sultan. Moreover, he also co-published a short story collection titled The La-Petite Bourgeoisie with the writer Ali Mak. So, dear audience, what I have stated, this is, by the way, the major works, the major literary works of our poet, celebrated, the remarkable poet Salah Ahmed Ibrahim. In a literary study about Sudanese poetry, Salah Ahmed Ibrahim was described as the most important Sudanese poet of his generation, as in his poetry, there is all the yearning, all the frustration of his generation. He writes his poetry with miraculous ease and beauty. Salah was also noted for his socialist realist fiction, of which he was a notable proponent.